city is planning for that. And there was one more question.
Yes. I have to say, nobody is talking about 1% of affordable housing. Your logic doesn't make any sense on two levels. First of all, school teachers and firefighters make over $65,000 a year. Okay, that's the first thing that's wrong. Second thing is, I'm not sure when the last time you were in our public school system, but it doesn't seem like you're in reality at all, because we're not talking about 1%. We're talking about 70% of affordable housing going in one school district and in Lucas Valley and Marinwood. 70%. That's not equitable.
For unincorporated
For
Marin.
unincorporated Marin. That makes no sense for the school district. So what have you done, Susan, to spread out the equity to make this fair for unincorporated Marin?
So 70% of affordable housing is not going into Marinwood and Lucas Valley. That's something that's been put out there that people have
546 out of 775 units.
Let me finish answering the question, please. The issue you're referring to is this whole housing element process that we're going through right now, where opportunity sites, potential development sites are identified. Whether or not we put them in the housing element or not, Grady has the potential for up to 240 units. Hetfield has a few hundred acres that he wants to develop. We have Oakview, which already has a master plan for 28 units and the potential for a senior living facility. We have St. Vincent Silvera that has the potential for a cap of 221 units. We have the Marinwood Plaza, which in the general plan, after the community in 2006 asked the board to incorporate it, cannot go beyond 100 units of housing. And it'll probably be less because the community doesn't want to take that much. So when you add up all of the potential, there is a potential because in unincorporated Marin, there's not a whole lot of places. But we're also looking at Strawberry, Tam Valley, Kentwood, Kentfield, over by the college. There are some they're going to be doing some redevelopment there. We're looking at a few smaller properties in West Marin. But in 1972, our visionary leaders at that time decided that we were going to focus development on the 101 corridor and protect the inner rural area with agriculture and protect the coastal parklands. And we've done a really good job of doing that. In the last general plan, we added the Baylands corridor and are looking at sea level rise impacts so that corridor, now we have a fourth corridor. So that gives us very limited areas that we can look at as possible development areas. One of the questions that I've asked in ABAG is, so what happens when we've achieved build out? You know, at what point do we push back and say, okay, all of these areas that are zoned for this, we've gone through the planning process, housing is built, you know, we can't do anymore. Then what happens? And nobody has that answer yet. So, you know, I think that, you know, having done this for 10 years now, I know that the planning process works. I know that the public has many opportunities to comment on any specific plan that would come forward. And just because something is identified as potential in the future does not equate with it's actually going to get built the next day. There has to be a very arduous, thorough environmental review process. So I'm going to say good night now because I think
people need to drink water. The schools need to be funded. This is not a plan without it.
Thank you so much.